Welcome to the daily updates of the World Buzz. The Third World War seems too close than expected. China seems to provoke the Philippines to start a war against China by increasing its aggressive pirate-like behavior against the Philippines. This is manifested in a variety of ways. China has engaged in large-scale land reclamation and militarization of disputed islands. There have been numerous incidents of Chinese vessels harassing and intimidating Filipino fishermen within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. These actions have been condemned by many UN member states and expressed concerns about China's aggressive and unlawful behavior. They view it as a threat to freedom of navigation and regional stability. The economic impacts extend beyond the Philippines, affecting neighboring countries reliant on these waters for trade and resources. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has sought to uphold Philippines' sovereign rights through a combination of diplomacy, legal action, and strengthened security partnerships. Despite the clear demarcations established by UNCLOS, which affirm that the Spratly Islands, Ayungin Shoal, Pag-asa Island, and the Calayan Island Group fall within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, China rejected the decision and persists in its activities, including constructing artificial islands, deploying military assets, and harassing Filipino fishermen, the Philippine Coast Guards, and its navy within the Philippine EEZ. With all of these aggressive actions, and in all these UNCLOS violations, the UN Security Council, tasked with maintaining international peace and security, has been largely silent on the issue. Why does the UN Secretary-General, Antonio Guterres, lack executive power to prevent China from engaging in illegal activities within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone? He does not have direct enforcement power and relies on member states and the UN Security Council to implement and comply with UN resolutions and international laws. As of 2024, 193 countries are UN members. 15 countries are considered UN Security Council, and of these countries are 5 permanent members, often referred to as the P5. These are China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, and the United States. The 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council have veto power, meaning any one of them can block any substantive resolution, regardless of the majority support it may have among the other members. So how China, as one of the Permanent Security Council, can use its veto power about China's claims in the West Philippine Sea, and why they persist in claiming West Philippines using their invalid 9-dash line, its continued militarization in the Philippines' legally owned islands, and why they continue to do unlawful acts of aggression and harassment against the Philippines without any intervention from the UN Secretary-General and the UN Security Council. Here is how China might have used its veto power. Number 1. Preventing sanctions or condemnations. If the UN Security Council, like America and the UK, were to propose a resolution condemning China's actions in the West Philippine Sea or imposing sanctions, China could veto it, effectively preventing its adoption. Number 2. Stopping enforcement actions. China could veto any resolution authorizing enforcement measures, such as peacekeeping operations or using military force by the Philippines and American U.S. Navy, to ensure China's compliance with UNCLOS decisions or any international law. Number 3. Negotiation and compromise. The threat of a Chinese veto often leads to negotiations and compromises, resulting in watered-down resolutions that are acceptable to China. This can dilute the effectiveness of any UNSC action. Number 4. Preventing discussion. China can use its influence to discourage other members from even bringing up resolutions related to the West Philippine Sea, knowing that any proposed action would likely face a veto. What are the implications of the veto from China? Deadlock. China can stop the Council from taking any meaningful action regarding the West Philippine Sea dispute. If a member state proposes a resolution condemning China's construction and militarization of artificial islands, China can veto the resolution, preventing it from passing. China's veto can block any proposal to impose sanctions on Chinese entities involved in activities in the West Philippine Sea, preventing the implementation of these measures. Proposals to send UN peacekeeping or monitoring missions to the disputed areas to ensure freedom of navigation and adherence to international law can be vetoed by China, stopping any such missions from being deployed. If no other nation can effectively stop China from its actions in the West Philippine Sea due to China's power to veto UN Security Council resolutions, several potential outcomes and consequences might emerge. China may continue to build and militarize artificial islands, solidifying its control over key areas in the South China Sea. A stronger Chinese military presence in the region could further intimidate other claimant nations and discourage them from asserting their own claims. Continued Chinese assertiveness could lead to heightened tensions with neighboring countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia. These countries might respond by increasing their own military capabilities, leading to an arms race in the region and raising the risk of accidental or intentional military confrontations. Affected countries may seek to strengthen bilateral and multilateral alliances to counterbalance China's influence. This could involve closer cooperation with powers like the United States, Japan, Australia, and India. Nations might use economic measures such as sanctions or reducing economic dependency on China to exert pressure and limit China's aggressive actions. The Philippines and other regional countries might deepen their defense partnerships with the United States and other allies, seeking security guarantees and military support. Regional security initiatives, such as those within ASEAN or the Quad, US, Japan, India, Australia, could be strengthened to provide a counterbalance to Chinese actions. Continuous diplomatic efforts to isolate China on the international stage might increase, emphasizing the importance of a rules-based international order. Unchecked Chinese control may lead to extensive exploitation of natural resources, affecting regional economies and the environment. The construction and militarization of artificial islands can cause significant environmental harm, affecting marine biodiversity and the livelihoods of local communities. If other ASEAN countries, America, Australia, India, Japan, and other European countries, will not be able to help the Philippines, surely China will be controlling everything, including conquering the Philippines. Looking at how aggressive China is in getting its target to own the whole of South China Sea, it is more likely that Southeast Asian nations might respond by significantly increasing their military expenditures, leading to an arms race in the region. So, the Third World War might only be the result, and the Philippines will be the first country to receive a nuclear attack from China. Worst comes to worst. If peace means giving way to China, then all ASEAN countries should be more than ready to be China's underdogs. Remember, the issue of the West Philippine Sea is not only a concern for the Philippines. This issue affects the ASEAN, American, and European nations. So how about you? How would you react to China's aggression? Move now. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is World Buzz. Thanks for watching. Signing off.